Hey guys, welcome back to Paulies Sleepers, Week 16 NFL DraftKings GPP Big Money Tournament Picks. Your host Paul Lundgaard. This is our last week. I'm very excited. It's Christmas week. I made the final game in both of my season-long leagues, so I'm playing Jeremy's brother Josh in my league of record, Russian Roulette. And then I'm playing Jackson, who's our other contributor here at Paulies Sleepers, in our work league for the finals. So very exciting. Also, I play in 3 leagues. The other league I didn't make the playoffs, but have a chance to win the Toilet Bowl and get the first pick next year. So there's lots of stuff happening there that I'm happy about. And that's good because I don't have a lot to be happy about our daily fantasy football performance last week. Probably one of our worst weeks. I don't want to dwell on it too much, but Antonio Brown went out. I can't even say it because he never gets hurt, but he got hurt, and that hurt us bad on our Ben stacks. We went to the well one too many times with Deshaun Kaiser, and just to let you know how many times you can go to the well with him, it's just the once. We hit. That's a hit it and quit it and get out right there. We hit 2 weeks ago with him. Last week tried it again, and good Lord, he underperformed there for us. And Russell Wilson didn't do it for us. He got shut down and just blown out by the Rams at home. So the Bortles stacks were the only good stacks, and we had some good plays. We played Keenan Cole a lot, who went off. We played Kenyon Drake, who did well. We did Todd Gurley, who absolutely smashed. I think the lineups that cashed all had Gurley in them. So if you played along with my lineups, you didn't lose everything, but you definitely didn't come out the week a winner. There's a few people that tweaked our lineups and did actually come out the week a winner and faded my Deshaun Kaiser stacks and said, no, Paulie, no, I'm not doing that. And that was a good instinct there. So shout out to West 12 Burke for talking me into doing a Cam lineup with Christian McCaffrey. Cam had 4 touchdowns and McCaffrey had 2, and that was a good play, which I didn't get a chance to share with you guys because that was really late. So let's get into this. This is a 12-game slate. The Colts-Ravens game is not on here. Steelers-Texans game is not on here. Ravens-Eagles isn't on here. And then the Packers game is not on here. So we don't have to worry about Aaron Rodgers. If you have Aaron Rodgers in season-long leagues, I don't think he's going to play. They picked up another quarterback this week. That tells me they're going to play Brett Hundley, and this guy is their backup. I don't blame them. They already said he's not 100% healthy. So you guys that are playing for your championship that have Aaron Rodgers that are hoping and praying he's going to play, you better pick up somebody on the waiver wire tonight or have a good backup. Nick Foles would be a good play, Blake Bortles, or maybe you have you would have a good backup if you made it this long because Aaron Rodgers hasn't been playing. So play that other guy that got you here. Hopefully going to do a Christmas special with the whole team, Jackson and Jeremy this week, but it's looking like maybe a long shot because Jeremy's only going to be in town for a few days and has a very tight schedule, but we're going to try and do that. So this is my first take. I'm going to go game by game. There's 12 games. The first game is Rams at Titans. Both of these teams have something to play for, and this is what we want to focus on. I want to focus on teams that have something to play for. These other teams might start playing guys that we've never heard of. That's why we don't play Week 17. So Jared Goff, who we played a bunch at the beginning of the year, I think is a good play here at $6,100. I love that price. Pairing him with Woods, who got back from his injury, and he is definitely his number one. He came right back and did well and scored. He's $6,500. Kupp and Watkins are $5,300 and $4,400. They had duds last week for 4 points each. Very unlikely that both of them dud again, so I'm going to want to sprinkle them in some lineups. Gurley's $9,100. Just play him. He's just play Todd Gurley. He's great. DeMarco Murray's $4,600. He hasn't had that great of a year, but at home, he might be a good play because the Rams are not good against the run. They're kind of like the Chargers, where they kind of sell out the run to rush that pass, and they've got great corners. And, he's not game script dependent either. So some of these running backs, they don't play at the end of the games because there's a scat back pass catching running back that comes in to get all the third down work and all the pass catching work because they're not running anymore. He's going to be still in there. So 4,600, I think he's a sneaky play. Mr. Reliable, Delaney Walker. I mean, tight ends have become harder and harder to play here as the season has gone along. He's 4,900. Doesn't have that high of a ceiling, but he's got a pretty high floor for us, and I'm going to want to play him a bunch. The Rams D, I'm kind of thinking about pairing them with Gurley, but I don't like playing Ds on the road, and the Titans are definitely, playing for something here. But this might be one of the games that we look to stack the game. So we're either going to pair Gurley with the Rams D and leave it at that, or we're going to leave the D out of it and pair up a lot of these guys. I like the idea of playing Goff with Gurley because we did that earlier this year. He's a running back that you can pair with his quarterback because he catches so many balls. And, possibly, get these other guys in there, Woods, Kupp, Watkins, definitely come back with Delaney Walker on the other side. If we do that, you don't want to play a defense when you game stack. If you stack an entire game, you want it to shoot out, which means the defenses are not going to be good. So that might be a play. Bills-Pats is another game where both teams are in it. The Bills are definitely in it. The Pats are trying to secure home field throughout. I think they secured home field the first week, but they're trying to secure it throughout. This is a possible game to stack as well. You've got Tom priced down at 6,900 at home. It's because he's had 3 tough road games with 11, 14, and 20 points. Those are trending in the right direction, though, and anytime Tom gets down in that price, I got to look at him. Definitely a good cash game play. We usually don't play Tom because we look for other guys that can get Tom-like production for cheaper, but Tom is cheaper, so you got to look at it. Tyrod Taylor's 5,500. He gets it done with his legs. I think he'll be a decent sneaky play. I'd like to pair him with Charles Clay. Charles Clay's original OG Paulies Sleeper from week 1. I said that he would be Taylor's binky this year, and he got hurt and missed a bunch of the year. But the last 2 weeks, he's been right back in it and getting involved. He's only 3,800, and tight end play has been tough, and I feel like he's a reliable play. McCoy's 7,800. I think that's just a great play because he does it all, and he's not game script dependent either. Interesting situation because Rex Burkhead went out, and I'll be interested to hear what Jeremy's take is on this because he loves Rex. So Dion Lewis is 6,000, James White is 4,100, and Mike Gillislee will probably play this week at 3,900. I kind of hope he doesn't. He's definitely not a DraftKings play because he doesn't catch balls, but this is my analysis on this, all right? The Patriots aren't going to give all of Rex's running work to Dion Lewis because they're a plug-and-play offense. Dion Lewis is going to keep his role, which is good, and I still like him at $6,000. But I think they're going to move up James White into that role at 4,100 this week on DraftKings. I think that might be a great play. Now, if it's all Mike Gillislee, then that's not a good play. But with those 3 guys active, James White's going to get more looks. So, he was the Super Bowl champion last year, and at 4,100 in this big game that they need, I think that's just a great play. Gronk is 7,400. Gronk smash. That's it. That's all we have to say. Cooks draws EJ Gaines, and he got 4.2 last time they played. I don't know about that. Chris Hogan is questionable. I just don't think you could trust the wide receiver core for New England. It might be a Cooks game or an Amendola game or a Hogan game, but they have other guys there too. They've got the guy that they got from the Colts is still out there. They just picked up Kendall Wright, who caught a ball last week. I'm just not messing with that. It's Brady with Gronk, and whatever running back we want to play, it's LaShawn McCoy, Clay, and Taylor. And Taylor's another one you could stack with his running back, with McCoy, because he'll throw the ball to him. So that's a game we want to stack. Browns-Bears is going to be an easy analysis. Duke Johnson Jr. at 4,500. He's a great play. No one else is. Falcons at Saints. They're both in it. They both just played. The narrative here is that a lot of times division rivals, when they play the second time, the game slows down and doesn't score as much. especially when they play 2 out of 3 weeks, which is really weird. The AFC South are all playing their division games like, 2 out of 3 games or 2 out of 4 games. So we have recent history here. Julio Jones didn't do anything because he went up against Marshawn Lattimore, and Sanu had a great game. He had 20 points. Sanu's 5,700. I love Sanu. I love to play him. I'm going to look to play him a bunch. Michael Thomas is a great play. He hasn't had single digits since week 6, and he did it once in week 1. His other 13 games are all double digits. He's got 18, 30, and 24 the last 3 times, the last 3 games. And the good thing about Breeze is he only throws to Kamara and Michael Thomas. That's it. So I think it might be a good game to stack Breeze with Kamara and Thomas. So Kamara got his concussion in this game 2 weeks ago. He had 5.7 points on the first drive and then got concussed. That's tracking like 30 points. I know that's a small sample size, but it's not unrealistic to say that he might get 30. Ingram is 8,100. He got 13.2 points the game that Kamara went out. You might just think, oh, well, Ingram went off when Kamara went out, right? No, he didn't. I think they need each other. Ingram had a great game last week. They're both great plays, but we want to look at, okay, what's the game script going to be like? If the Saints get way ahead, like they did last week against the Jets, it's going to be a lot of Ingram. If the Falcons put up points, I think it'll be equal parts him and Kamara in the passing game. So I'm going to favor Kamara. That's not a surprise to you guys. I love him. But he's 8,300 and Ingram is 8,100. Maybe not a bad idea to play both of them. Last year we played Coleman and Freeman together. It was a great play. This year we played Kamara and Ingram together. It's been a great play. I just hesitated because the last time we did it, Kamara got his concussion, but you can't, predict that. Freeman's 6,500, and if Coleman sits with his concussion, that's an absolute smash play. It's probably still a play either way at 6,500. So that's a game that, we're going to want to get a lot of exposure to. Lions at Bengals. Bengals are out of it. They've given up. Marvin Lewis is finally done. A.J. Green hasn't done anything the last couple of weeks. He got like 5 points last week. I saw an interesting stat. They didn't cross midfield till like 8 minutes left in the third quarter. These guys are just horrible. Lions are definitely playing for something. Now, having said that, Stafford's price 6,200 is right around Alex Smith, I think, is 6,400, and Cam is 6,800. I'm not going to play him on the road for that price. But Theo Riddick, if he plays, might be an interesting play to play him with their D because Cincinnati sucks, and Detroit's D has been getting it done. They're 2,900. And Abdullah played last week. See, the backstory here is at the last minute, if you guys listened to my Sunday morning update, said to play Theo Riddick 2 weeks ago because Abdullah was benched due to performance, and Theo smashed. Last week, we didn't play him because Abdullah was back in the game. They also played that Tion Green rookie guy. So Abdullah was pissed because Theo went out with an injury, and then they kept giving it to Tion Green and gave it to Abdullah like 4 times. He was very, very pissed about that. So they might just bench him again. He's contract year 2. He might be done. If Theo Riddick plays, I'm going to maybe look to pair him with their defense for cheap. Since he just shut down Adam Thielen and Stephon Diggs, so I'm not looking to do any Jones or Tate, and that's another reason why I'm off Stafford. But I might look at, this is going to be crazy, but tight ends suck this year, Eric Ebron. So we haven't played this guy in like 3 years, and every year is supposed to be his year. He's actually making a quiet little resurgence here. His last 8 games, 7, 7, 12, 9, 7, 8, 18, 14. At $3,700, if he's got an 18, 14 ceiling, I'll take it. And if he gets the 7, 8, or 9, I'll take it. Just because I don't want to, we've paid for some of these cheap tight ends and they've got nothing. Ricky Seals-Jones, Jimmy Graham, Cameron Brate. So I think that might be a good play. I don't want to do a whole lot with this game. Bucks Panthers. Bucks aren't playing for anything except for wanting to do something against their division rivals, which there's always a narrative there. Panthers are definitely playing for something. They're at home. Cam is 6,800. That's a play. Bucks secondary sucks. He's been running a ton. Christian McCaffrey 6,400. His shoulder is better now. Obviously, he had 2 touchdowns last week. He's a play. Their defense is 3,100 at home, and Winston will throw up some picks. I like stacking Newton with Christian McCaffrey and their D possibly. So we talked about Adam Silva a little bit last week and how he, to me, is the be-all, end-all daily fantasy football analyst. And last week he mentioned Demarius Byrd, and he went off for 2 touchdowns. So the other thing here is Russell Shepard, who splits time with Darius Byrd, is hurt and probably is going to be out. If Russell Shepard is out, I'll definitely take a GPP tournament flyer on Demarius Byrd at 3,500 because the Bucs secondary is very similar in how they play to the Green Bay secondary, and that's sucky. Devin Funchess didn't do anything last week. I think he's really hurting from Greg Olsen being back. I think that's a big reason why he's had such a big year because Olsen's been out since week 3. I don't think he's a play anymore, and especially at 6,600. If they'd price him down to like 5,400, I'd look at it, but I can't do it. The other thing to look here is O.J. Howard, Deshaun Jackson, and Cameron Brate all left last week's game with an injury. Now, it's looking like Cameron Brate might play, but if O.J. Howard and Deshaun Jackson is out, and then if Cameron Brate's out too, either or, Adam Humphries at $3,000 might be a good GPP play. He gets about 4 to 8 points a week, and we've played him before in situations like this, and that's about what he'll get, probably 6, 7, 8 points. He's only 3,000. He's going to allow us to pay up at other positions, and I think that he might be a play. That is that one. So the next one we've got Dolphins at Chiefs. The Dolphins are still technically in it, so they've got something to play for, and the Chiefs secondary is horrible. And the Chiefs, if they win, they're in. So they're definitely going to be playing for it, and they've been finding their groove. Hey, Andy Reid, give Kareem Hunt the ball 25 times, and you'll win the game. So that works. Pairing him with their D might work really nice. The Chiefs D is 3,300. I like this home D play, and Cuddy will throw some picks. Hunt is 8,400. I don't care. He's definitely off the shelf and back on our playlist. Alex Smith is 6,600. I think that's a great play. Tyreek Hill is 6,500. He's gotten his last 8 weeks, 28, 15, 15, 12, 39, 11, 20. So with a baseline of 12 and a high of 40, that's GPP written all over it. Kelsey's 6,900. I think we got to look to pay up to him or Gronk in a lot of situations this week. He's gotten 13, 30, 20, 21, 7, 25, 14, and 10. I'll take it for $6,900. Since the Chiefs secondary is so bad, Jarvis Landry is a play. I'm not going to give you his game log. I want you to just click on his face and then click on game log. It's absolutely amazing, and you'll have no reservations of playing him at 6,300 in a game that they need to win on the road against a Chiefs team that's going to put up points. They're going to have to throw the ball. It's just an absolute lock. Also, Devontae Parker might be a cool GPP play at 4,200 because now that he's back healthy and Cuddy's back in there, he's getting some looks, and he did well last week. I think he scored. This might be a game to stack. So Broncos, Redskins, there's not much to talk about here. Both these teams are out. The one kind of Paulies Sleepers play here might be Capri Bibbs at 3,500. I know you're like, who is this guy? He played for the Broncos last year, never made it into the starting rotation. Samaje Perine is the starter for the Skins right now because they have like 3 hurt running backs, and he's got the word P in his name. Perine. Who wants to play that guy? The team has said they want to get Capri Bibbs the ball more. He got 15 points last week, $3,500. I think it's a great play. The only other thing to monitor here is Osweiler came in for the Broncos last week after Simeon got knocked out against the Colts. Now, I know it's against the Colts, but Osweiler's like the second tallest guy to ever play this position. He never gets a ball batted down. He ran one in last week. He was fired up. He's ready for the team to say, hey, Brock, take it. It's yours. But now the team's saying they might play Paxton Lynch the last 2 games to see what they have in him. Poor Brock. The reason why I'm mentioning this is because when Brock came in, Cody Latimer just completely blew up. And I've always subscribed to this theory that when a guy comes in, especially in the middle of the game, The coaches will put a guy out there that he's used to throwing to in practice, so he has a timing with that guy, a rhythm with that guy, a guy that he can, get it going with. And Latimer scored a touchdown. He scored a 2-point conversion. He had like 6 for 80 and a touchdown. So he's probably bare minimum price. I didn't even look up his pricing because I want to wait and see. If Osweiler plays, he's going to be a nice Paulies Sleepers play too. I think there's some great Paulies Sleepers plays this week that's going to let us pay up at other positions. So that's why I'm really liking how this week is shaping up. Chargers at Jets. Gordon is 7,200. Is probably a good play. The Chargers D has been doing great for us this year, but they're on the road. I mean, again, I don't like playing these guys on the road. Rivers at 6,900. I can't do that on the road when I could do Cam at home for 68 and Smith at home for 66. But Keenan Allen, if he plays, is cheap at 7,700 in my opinion. He's been hurt, so I don't know about that. I think the play here to look at is Hunter Henry is out. Antonio Gates is still on that team. I think he's going to retire at the end of this year. Maybe one more chance to just make us all remember how great he is. He's just a big fat boy now that runs down the middle of the field and turns around and catches the ball and falls down. But he's got hands just of angels. This guy, I think at 2,500, I think he's a great play. At 2,500, we just need him to get 7 or 8 points. And what kind of hands do angels have? I don't know if that was a good analogy. But Antonio Gates, we're looking at that because Hunter Henry is trending out. Jags Niners. The Niners have nothing to play for but pride, but the Jags are definitely in it. The Jags are in the playoffs, guys. This is crazy. They've priced Bortles way up at 6,500. Wow, I don't know about that. Fournette is questionable at 7,500. The thing to monitor here is if Fournette sits again, Ivory is 4,000. He got 18 carries last week, and the Niners are not that good against the run. No Marquise Lee this week. So DD, who didn't do anything last week, he's priced ridiculously up at 6,100 because of the matchup. Still maybe a play. Keenan Cole is definitely the play, I think, for 4,700. He scored last week and had 185 yards. No big deal. If you guys played along with our DraftKings lineups last week, I had him in a bunch, and he saved us. Jags D's 3,900. They're the top price D on the road. I don't like it. Hawks at Cowboys. Zeke is back. He's supposedly ready to go. He doesn't catch balls, so we don't play him that much in DraftKings. He's also $8,000, which they haven't even batted an eyelash at pricing him where he's usually priced. I'm sure he's ready to play. Just at $8,000, I want a guy that's going to catch balls, like Kareem Hunt, like Todd Gurley, like Melvin Gordon, who had like 8 catches last week. So I'm not going to play him. I'm not saying he won't get 25 points, but it's just that no pass catching situation. Russell Wilson's the top price quarterback at 7,000, playing on the road. The Cowboys secondary does suck. We've been exploiting them this year, so might look to do that. Dak Prescott is 6,000 at home. He's going to benefit from Zeke returning. I think these are naked plays. I don't want to try and figure out if Prescott's throwing it to Dez or Cole Beasley or Terrence Williams or Jason Witten. I don't want to figure out if Wilson's going to throw it to Lockett or Paul Richardson or I know one person he's not going to throw it to is Jimmy Graham. Now, having said that, he'll probably get 3 touchdowns, but Jimmy Graham has gotten 1 point 2 weeks in a row. 2 weeks ago, he got a point because he tackled a guy after an interception, so he got a tackle point. And then last week, he caught a ball for -1 yards and got 0.9. So I don't know what's going on with Graham. There's nothing to talk about in the Seattle running game because they don't roster any running backs. I think they don't even play any. So there's nobody to talk about there. The last game here is the Giants-Cards. Really nothing to play for but pride here. Drew Stanton is going to start for the Cards, and I'm mentioning that because at 4,500, you got to do a lineup with him. The Giants are horrible against tight ends, so if you want to give Ricky Seals-Jones another shot, Fitz is great at home. So a Drew Stanton, Fitz, Seals-Jones stack with Evan Ingram coming back is a good play. Evan Ingram's the only guy I really want to mess with on the Giants because their top wide receiver, we'll see Patrick Peterson, Sterling Shepard, who went off last week, but now he won't because he's got Patrick Peterson. So the only thing we really want to do here is maybe one fun what the heck, Stanton, Fitz, Seals Jones with Ingram coming back. And that should be a cheap play that allows us to load up on Todd Gurley and Alvin Kamara and guys like that. So that's it. That's our first take. It's Tuesday. We'll circle the wagons and probably do something on Saturday. Guys, look for the last Christmas Spectacular to drop late on Saturday, especially if we get Jeremy involved. So you may have to watch on Sunday mornings. The game starts at 1, so get up early like I do on Sunday. Get your coffee, watch my video, see who you want to play. I'm looking to definitely cash out after this week and get some holiday cash. And even though we didn't do well last week, if you played all of your bankroll, those lineups that hit, put money back into your pocket. So the way that we're playing here, it's almost impossible for all of these lineups not to hit. I think we'll go back to having a situation where more than half the lineups hit and everybody's happy. Last week was a statistical outlier. So let's just write that on a balloon and let it go. Good luck in your season longs this week. Thanks for joining in this year. We're going to do one more Saturday video, and then I might do a recap on Monday just to close out the year. But thanks for subscribing. Thanks for sharing with your friends and making this year very successful. And we'll see you on Saturday or Sunday. All right. Thanks. Bye.